standing desk is sold on two promises: you'll be healthier and you'll get more done. It rides on a tidy slogan, "Sitting is the new smoking," and an image of a sharper, leaner, more focused worker on their feet. The research is less obedient. Standing instead of sitting does almost nothing to your calorie burn. The productivity studies come back mixed at best, and the smoking comparison falls apart under the actual numbers. So we opened the file on what a standing desk really buys you, and found the marketing aimed at the wrong variable entirely. Start by separating the two claims because they get marketed as one and they fail for different reasons. The first claim is metabolic, that standing burns meaningfully more energy and helps with weight. The second is cognitive, that being on your feet makes you more alert, more focused, and more productive. Underneath both sits a third, scarier claim doing the emotional work, that prolonged sitting belongs in the same sentence as cigarettes, so anything that gets you off the chair is urgent self-defense. Three distinct testable statements, and the evidence treats them very differently. The honest version isn't that standing desks are useless. It's that the specific thing they change, swapping a seated posture for a standing one, is not what drives the benefits the ads promise. The benefit, where it exists, comes from something the desk merely makes easier. Take the metabolic claim first, because it's the easiest to measure. Harvard Health put numbers on it. Sitting burns roughly 80 calories an hour, and standing burns about 88. That is a difference of 8 calories an hour. Their own comparison was that standing for 3 extra hours buys you about the same number of calories as a single carrot. Even the most generous industry estimates top out near 20 to 50 extra calories an hour, and those assume a heavier body standing perfectly still all day, which nobody does. Run the realistic end. Stand for an extra 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and the Harvard figure gives you roughly 160 extra calories in a week, less than a single candy bar. As a weight loss tool, the standing desk is statistical noise. The number is real, but far too small to do what the marketing implies. The productivity claim, the one the desk is actually purchased on. Here, the cleanest evidence is almost anticlimactic. A controlled study testing standing against sitting on real cognitive work found that body position did not affect reading comprehension and did not affect creative output. People generated the same quality of ideas and understood what they read equally well, whether seated or standing. The most telling part was the gap between belief and result. Participants expected standing to help their creativity and hurt their reading, and neither expectation showed up. Their predictions were simply wrong. There is one modest, genuine finding. Standing produced a small lift in self-reported engagement and alertness, on the order of a quarter point on a 7-point scale, while making people less comfortable. So the fair read is mixed. No measurable boost to output, a tiny bump in how engaged people felt, and a real comfort cost. The headline that standing makes you more productive is, at the level the ads claim, simply not in the data. Which brings us to the slogan doing the heavy lifting. Sitting is the new smoking. An analysis in the American Journal of Public Health put the two side by side, and the gap is enormous. The hazard ratio for all-cause death tied to the most sitting versus the least is about 1.22. For current smokers, the relative risk of death runs around 2.8. For the heaviest smokers, it climbs past 4. In plain terms, smoking carries roughly 10 times the mortality risk of sitting. The paper's conclusion is blunt. Sitting and smoking are not comparable. And a second number reframes the whole panic. A harmonized analysis in the Lancet pooling more than 1 million people found that roughly 60 to 75 minutes a day of moderate activity, a brisk walk, essentially erased the extra mortality risk from long sitting. Read that carefully. The fix for sitting isn't standing. The fix for sitting is moving. A standing desk changes your posture, not your activity. And the marketing skips the obvious symmetry. Standing all day isn't free either. Trading one fixed posture for the opposite fixed posture just trades one set of problems for another. A 12-year prospective study of Danish workers found that prolonged standing drove a sharply higher risk of hospitalization for varicose veins, and concluded standing accounted for more than 1/5 of working age cases. Other occupational research links long static standing to low back pain, leg fatigue, and joint discomfort, with some studies finding standing more than half the workday raised the odds of lower limb pain several-fold. The mechanism is simple. Standing dead still keeps your leg muscles statically loaded and lets blood pool. The villain in both postures is the same word: prolonged. It was never the chair. It was the staying still. Replacing 8 hours of sitting with 8 hours of standing doesn't solve the problem the data identified. If standing alone barely moves calories, doesn't reliably lift output, and carries its own risks, where's the actual benefit? It's in the verb the desk enables but doesn't require alternating. The ergonomics research converges on a clear pattern. Switching between sitting and standing across the day, rather than locking into either, is what reduces discomfort and fatigue. A common evidence-based target is not staying in one position longer than about 30 to 40 minutes before changing. One widely cited cadence, the 28-2 rule, breaks each half hour into roughly 20 minutes sitting, 8 minutes standing, and 2 minutes of actual movement. Notice what's doing the work there. The benefit isn't the standing. It's the transitions and the walking. The desk is useful precisely because it lowers the friction of switching, not because vertical is a magic posture. So, are standing desks actually more productive and healthier? The honest, data-backed read is this. As a calorie tool, the effect is real but trivial, about 8 extra calories an hour, statistical noise against a diet. As a productivity tool, the controlled evidence shows no reliable gain to output, just a small bump in felt engagement at a comfort cost. And the health case rests on a slogan the research rejects. Sitting is not in smoking's league, and the thing that offsets sitting's risk is movement, not verticality. Here's what the evidence does support. Buy the desk for one reason, to make alternating effortless. Don't hold any posture longer than about 30 to 40 minutes. Sit, then stand. And most importantly, get 60 to 75 minutes of real movement into your day, because that brisk walk number is the one with 1 million people behind it. A standing desk used as a stand-all-day trophy delivers almost nothing the ads promise. Used as a switch that keeps you moving, it earns its place. That's where the evidence lands.